Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. So I know I've been away for a while. In this video today, I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey through university. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to my journey, especially during 2020. 2020 has been a chaotic year. It's something that we've never expected. But I wanted to give my version of what I experienced in hopes that it would relate to many of you too. Whether you're in university right now, whether you are currently going through it or you've nearly finished it, or whether you've graduated and you can relate to some of the things that I say. So this year, it was my third year studying architecture in university. And obviously at the beginning of the year, everything was more or less normal. Now, for someone who studies architecture, any of my architectural people will understand when I say this. Architecture has to be one of the most time-demanding degrees. And the reason why I say that is because it's a degree that always encourages you to always consistently improve your work. There's never a final kind of step. There's never, okay, this is done, this is finished, and this is as perfect as it could be. There's always improvements to make. And one thing I learned from studying architecture in the entire degree is that these things are lessons for the future, and they're lessons which require a lot of patience, something which I don't have the most of, but it really taught me to have patience with my work, to also have patience with myself, because as you can understand and know, a masterpiece is not going to be created in a day. Matter of fact, it's not even going to be created in a week or a month. It might be created in a year. And it was that whole process of refining and going back, correcting the mistakes, redoing certain points which I was happy with. That type of process was consistent in architecture throughout all the years that I've studied, and from the first year to the final year, more or less nothing really changed. It was just me getting a little bit more used to knowing how to deal with the situations, knowing how to deal with feedback, and knowing how to refine my work to the best it can be. And I want to explain my journey, especially in third year. Third year was a struggle. Once again, I came into the year feeling a lot more confident. Why? Because I know I passed second year. Instead of going into the year having this doubtful feeling that I wasn't going to be able to pass, I had this uplifting feeling that I was going to make it, because my past grades contradicted all the beliefs that I had in my head, all those negative self-talks and all those doubts in my head which kind of spoke against me. I had a lot more confidence when I came into the year, but I knew that third year is a year where when you go into third year, you know that this is the last, this is it, and you want to continue pushing the marathon. Third year, you're probably a little bit more exhausted than you were when you first had all the excitement in first year, but third year is where it all happens. Second year really does contribute a lot to your, let's say, your overall grade. It's a good foundation for you to build on, but third year is everything. So then lockdown came and crashed and burned, and it was tough. Now, I definitely understand a lot of people probably went through a lot of hardship during lockdown, but I want to talk about the things which I went through in hopes that it would help people who are going through lockdown and university right now, but also for those who might just be, if you guys aren't even studying, if you are, let's say, working, but you're working from home, I hope that some of the things and the challenges which I faced can help you to really push forward and to have that confidence in yourself. So I wanted to talk about, I got my notes, I'm looking down. I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey that I went through during lockdown. Lack of motivation can be small, but to cut it out, definitely find ways to stop it. And some of the ways which helped me, as I said, being around my friends, being around other uni students who are doing the work, gave me that motivation to continue going. So once again, I'll definitely say keep in contact with your uni mates, check up on each other, check up on each other, not just to see and to express how you're feeling, but also to check up on them, because most of the time, especially in lockdown, there's other students who are going through the exact same thing you're probably going through. And, it doesn't take long to just reach out to someone and to be like, hey, how are you doing? How are you? And that's something which really helped me. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is creative block, but I want to talk about it in the way of solution as well. So creative block, I had so many creative blocks. Oh my goodness, guys, it was terrible. There'll be times I'll be sitting at the laptop and I'll just be like having my head here and I'll be like, where's the ideas? They're non-existent. It was terrible. But sometimes creative block can happen, and it happened for me when I was exhausting my creative radar way too much. When I was exhausting my creativity, it just kind of stopped. And it happens, especially when you're working on something 24/7, well, not 24/7, but for a long period of time in the day, and you don't give yourself a rest. There was times where, as I said, I'll be sitting at the laptop for hours and there would be no ideas coming to my head. I was stuck in a place for so long. And that also leads to having creative block also leads to that more pressure building up inside of you, because you're thinking, okay, well, I need to finish this by today. I can't finish this now because I can't think of an idea. And if I don't think of an idea soon, then I'm not gonna be able to finish it. You can see where this is going, right? So I had a lot of situations where I was constantly trying to push myself, and it just wasn't happening. And that can be, once again, very dangerous to your mental health and to your self-identity, because you're now saying, well, hurry up, Rachel. What are you doing? Trying to think of something, just think of something, and you're pushing yourself in an area which is not natural for you to push right now. So the things which helped me refrain and kind of remove creative block was taking a walk. In lockdown, the one thing we was able to do was take a walk, go out once a day, and do that if you need to. Go out twice a day if you need to. Take a walk around the block. If there's a park nearby, sit in the park for a couple, maybe 15 minutes. And think about something else. Watch a show, watch a documentary. I found architecture can sometimes be closely related to nature, and I found nature as a good inspiration for my degree. So exercise things which allow you to be distracted from your work. Go and speak to your family members. If you live with other people, go and see how they're doing. There's so many other things that you can do which take you away from your work, even if it's just for half an hour, even if it's just for an hour's break. Just go away from it and then come back. Usually you'd find when you're doing something else, your brain will start working again. It's like your creative fuel gets recharged. So I definitely say, for creative block, try to go out and distract yourself from it, then come back. But I'd also say try to work in blocks of short time periods. So what worked for me, I had a little kind of timer which set off every 15 minutes, and it would like alarm me. So what I did is I would blitz it out for 15 minutes, then have like a 10-minute break, then blitz it out for another 15 minutes. So it'd be like two 15-minute blocks, and then a break, 2 15-minute blocks, then a break, 2 15-minute blocks, then a break. And that really helped because it broke up everything. And also I would try to complete a task in that 15 minutes, which made me even more productive. So even if you want to, have a timer and set that timer for every 15 minutes, you can write down a list of things that you want to achieve for each 15-minute block. And that will really help you remain productive, hence also kind of remove creative block, because you've got a deadline to meet. But yeah. The next thing I've got here is AllNighters. Now, I will tell you this. When it came to the end of my degree, or the end or closer to my deadline, maybe about a month before my deadline, I wasn't sleeping. I remember I didn't sleep for a week. I slept maybe 4 hours in the entire week. And all-nighters can be extremely hard, especially for someone who loves their sleep like me. I love sleep, but it was something which I had to sacrifice because, sometimes for a short period of time, you're going to have to go all out. And that's what I want to also transfer from what I've learned from my degree, but also advice to myself and to you guys for the future. If you want to achieve something, sometimes it's going to mean you're going to have to put your all into it. And that might mean you might have to lose sleep for a couple of days. I'm not a health expert, and I'm not trying to say to everyone, don't sleep for 20 days so you can get what you want. No. But what I am saying is that, you will have to sacrifice things. And I had to sacrifice sleep in order to complete my degree. And it was hard. I definitely would say a tip for people who are doing all-nighters, stay hydrated with water. Not with coffee, not with Red Bull, with water. Now, the reason why I say that is because from my experience, energy drinks made me even more anxious and even more nervous than I normally was. Energy drinks' purpose is to accelerate your heart rate, right? And I remember when I had like maybe 2 monsters when I was in first year trying to do an all-nighter to finish my work. And I got to the point where I was so frantic and I didn't feel myself because of the effects that the energy drinks had on me. By accelerating my heart rate, it made my anxiety worse. So people who suffer with anxiety, or if you're even really worried about your degree, I would say stay away from the energy drinks, because they will make you more nervous, and they will just increase your nervousness and increase the franticness that you have in your head. Water, as long as you drink water, you should stay quite awake or alert, because your body is hydrated and it's got the fluid that it needs to keep running, because our bodies run on water. I would say with coffee, limit the amount that you have, definitely for the same reason that I didn't drink many fizzy drinks or many energy drinks during this time of when I was doing all-nighters. As I said, this is just my experience and what I would recommend to you guys. Another thing which I'd say about an all-nighter is that you gotta find your medium. How many hours of sleep can you get where you still feel good the next day? I knew that with me, I can get 4 hours sleep and work as normal and still be as productive the next day. I knew that was my least amount of hours that I could sleep for. So for some of the days, I would sleep for 4 hours, then wake up early, then continue, and I'd still feel the same. It's not like I was like complete death, and I was running on zero energy. So find your medium. Maybe 6 hours is the least sleep that you can get in order to feel good for the next day. Maybe 2 hours is the least amount of sleep that you can get for the next day. I would definitely not recommend to do this for a long period of time though, because your body does need sleep in order to repair itself, and you can conject and attract and also become ill, physically ill, in a sense of with a low immune system, because your body's not repairing itself. You can catch colds and stuff. But I would definitely say don't do all-nighters for a long period of time, because it does have a negative effect on your body. But sometimes it might be needed for you to just blitz through your degree or blitz through a piece of work that you have going on, and to just kind of like get it done and over with. Another thing I would say is music. So what I would usually do, my day routine would be I'd wake up. If I was having an all-nighter, then I would be up already. But if I had a good night's sleep, I'd wake up in the morning and play some gospel. I would pray and I would play gospel in order to like uplift my spirit and uplift my mood. Then I would work for the day. Then once it got to around 12 o'clock in the night, 12 a.m, if I was doing an all-nighter, I would switch from the gospel or from the upbeat music to some like workout music, because that was going to keep my adrenaline high. It was going to keep my mood up to help me blitz through the rest of the night. As I said, the Gymshark album or playlist on Spotify really helped me. It had things like Till I Collapse by Eminem, and it also had loads of other songs which really make you feel like you're invincible, and it keeps your mood up. So I'll definitely say playing music really affects and changes your mood. So play music that's going to encourage you. So the next thing is lack of confidence. So I had a lack of confidence when I was doing my work, because I would say I'm very hard on myself personally. I'm hard on the work that I do. I can be quite a perfectionist, which makes it even worse, because when is the work ever good enough? And hence, because my work sometimes wasn't perfect, it gave me a lack of confidence in what I could achieve, and that made it even worse. So it's like you're doing work, you don't think the work's good enough, it's probably not good enough. You have lack of confidence, you're worrying about your work. It's a cycle. And with having that lack of confidence, it really pushed me in a state where I was more or less kind of worried about everything that I did. And I couldn't really produce any work either, because it's like, well, it's not good enough. My mindset, my subconscious was like, well, Rachel, the work's not going to be good enough, so what's the point? So one thing that helped me boost my confidence is speaking to my tutors. Speak to your tutors. Make sure you're on every call which they offer. And also, if you need to contact them more in extra, like let's say extra time or extra study, contact them. Email them. Keep in touch with them. Because if you can contact your tutor and let them know, okay, well, I'm going through this right now. What do you think? Is my work good enough? What do you think of this essay? Whatever. They can give you the pointers of where they think it would be. And that gives you reassurance that you're on the right track, if you are on the right track, or what you need to improve on. So when I was going through a lack of confidence, I would produce work and send it to my tutor to see what they thought. I'd work on it a little bit more, and I'd get their feedback, and they'll say, okay, well, Rachel, you need to work on this and this, but everything else is good. That gave me that boost of confidence to know that I am on the right track. I am on the right track to the end of the project. So I would definitely say lack of confidence was something which I struggled with, but keeping in contact with your uni mates, with people in your course, your friendship group in your course, and also the tutors who provide the seminars for you, or whatever, whatever degree you're doing, the tutors that are there for you to talk to, speak to them, contact them. I would say contact them regularly. If that's like 3 times a week, contact them regularly so they know also where you are. I think one thing that helped me a lot is that keeping in constant communication with my tutor really helped my work, because she knew exactly what I was doing and she knew exactly where I was. So that really gave me that kind of boost of confidence from myself, and also gave her a boost of confidence to know that I was on the right track. So keep in contact with your tutors. Now, I want to relate architecture to life. I want to relate it to, the situations that you're probably going to go through, that I'm going to go through, that we're all going to go through in life. And architecture, studying the degree and finishing the degree and going through lockdown whilst doing it, gave me a lesson which I didn't necessarily enjoy, but it really grew me, and it made me understand that not everything is going to be rainbows and roses and sunflowers. But something which it made me realize is that the journey that you're going to go through to achieve the thing that you want, especially if you want to achieve the highest possible outcome that you can achieve, you're going to have to get ugly. You're going to have to get in the dirt. You're going to have to, break down. You're going to have to build yourself back up again. I like to compare it to a woman giving birth. And I felt like my degree was me birthing my child of the degree. The reason why I say that is because you spend so much time creating this project. You spend so much time working towards this goal. And this goal is going to transform you in ways that you possibly could not imagine. This goal is going to completely transform your body, your mind, everything. And it's going to break you. When you want to achieve something ambitious, you have to remember that the reason why you haven't achieved it yet is because you're not the person you need to be to achieve it. And know that you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to break down and shed the old you, the same way that a woman goes through immense pain when she's giving birth. It's painful because it's growth, it's new beginnings, and new beginnings are not supposed to be, kind of, I guess, a page turn in a book. They're supposed to be ugly. They're supposed to be harsh. The same way we can even use how snakes shed their skin. When snakes shed their skin, they literally leave everything behind and they push forward. So in the same way, where in this degree which I went through, I had to sacrifice the old me for the new me that I had to become to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And that's a lesson which I want to push onto you guys for whatever you want to achieve. Whether that's you're going through an architecture degree, whether that's you're going through any degree, whether that's you're achieving a goal that you've got, whether that's you starting a business, becoming an entrepreneur, whether that's you taking a leap of faith to do something that you've never done before, take a marathon, whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever goal that you have, know that it's going to be a challenge. It's going to look ugly and it's going to get harsh, but the outcome is going to be glorious. The same way that, a woman after she gives birth, she's immensely happy with the produce of the baby. It's the same thing, every project that you go through, no one understands that the end outcome is eventually going to be beautiful, but you're going to have to get through the ugly to get to the beautiful. It just doesn't happen as a straight line. It's going to be up, down, left, right, failure here, failure there, and you're going to have to go into the trenches and get dirty. And that's the piece of advice I want to give. I think the one thing which helped me pursue the degree is that I was determined. And music, as I said, music and my faith in God helped me through that. With the power of God and with the power of my determination and the power of myself, give credit to yourself, guys. If you have achieved anything in the past, you did that. Take credit for something that you did and make sure that you celebrate that, because sometimes you have to think about what if you didn't achieve that thing. And that's what I do every day. Sometimes I wake up and I just burst into tears because I'm so proud that I actually got through the degree, because it was so hard. Another thing I want to mention as well, imagine if we got everything we wanted really easily. Now, currently, I'm pursuing entrepreneurship and it's hard, it's tough, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Why? Because I know that this is making me appreciate it so much more. Imagine if getting a first class degree was so easy. Everyone would have one and it would be useless, or, you know, virtually it wouldn't have no value or any value because everyone has a first class degree. But the reason why first class degree is so special and appreciated is because it takes hours of work, persistence, and hours and hours and hours of hard work and determination to get there. So whatever goal you want to achieve, be thankful for the challenges and the you know, the trenches that you have to go through, because they are what is going to make you appreciate the goal once you achieve it. So that's the advice I want to give. So yeah, one thing I wanted to mention lastly is the importance of being dedicated. Know that you have to be dedicated to that goal. If you're flimsy, if you're indecisive of what you want to do, it's not gonna work. It won't work, and I can say that for a fact. And it hasn't worked for me. You know, the times when I've been indecisive, not really knowing if I wanted to go all in or all out or whatever, but I knew that the decisions which I've made where I said, you know what, I'm determined to achieve this, I achieved them because I had that vision, that tunnel vision focus to achieve something. So I definitely say the importance of being dedicated is massive. You have to be dedicated to the goal that you want to achieve. You have to be dedicated to your degree, and you can't put anything above that. The priority has to be the goal that you want to achieve. Lastly, I wanted to go over some of the things which I learned. Now, I know I've touched on some of the outcomes or solutions that I went through to overcome some of the problems I went through, but I want to talk about the lessons. Now, the first lesson I have here is patience and perseverance. Same thing to being dedicated, but this time you have to pursue. You have to pursue whether it's a degree, whatever it is, you have to pursue. Continue going and having patience. You know, they say good things come to those who wait, and it's true. But I always like to say good things come to those who wait and who work. You know, people who are religious or people who believe in God, they might pray for something and then never do any work towards it, then wonder why God doesn't give it to them. But it's because you're not working for it. You have to put the work in, and you have to be patient. You know, wait for the process to happen, to actually occur, but also put the consistent effort in every day to achieve it. And to know that, you know, no matter what happens, you're going to do that daily action every day. That's what perseverance to me means. You're going to continue to do what you need to do each and every day. And yeah, as I said before, thank yourself for the small wins. Thank yourself for them, because you did it. Regardless of how big of an achievement you want to achieve, know that it's going to take thousands and thousands of little steps to get there. So for every little step that you do consistently, give yourself a thumbs up and thank yourself for it. Do what you have to do temporarily to get everlasting results. Now, I had to sacrifice everything. I had to sacrifice my mental health. I didn't have to, so guys, I'm not saying you have to sacrifice everything, but I chose to sacrifice, you know, my mental health. I chose to sacrifice my sleep for temporarily to really do as much as I could to get this degree. And I'm so thankful to God that I have graduated and I have got the degree. But the fact that, you know, it took so much out of me temporarily is what I want to focus on. Temporarily, know that you're going to have to sacrifice something. But I know now that that degree, that certificate, that BA after my name is going to be forever. And I know that the results are going to last longer than the pain that I felt at the time. It's the same thing like when you go to the gym. Now, when you go to the gym, you work out your muscles. If let's say you want to get bigger, if you want to get more toned, you're going to have to feel temporary pain, right? You're going to have to get out of breath. You might get a little buildup of lactic acid. You might, you know, get muscle pain, soreness, whatever. But those things are temporary because the body that you want to achieve, or, you know, your goal of where you want to go, is going to be more or less long-term, near to everlasting, as long as you continue up with the routine, right? So just know that there's some things in life where you will have to sacrifice, but you have to remember, what are you sacrificing it for? The reason to why you're doing it is what's going to help you pursue. And yeah, so in this video, guys, I just wanted to explain my story, and I hope that I did that. I hope that you guys came away from this video learning a lot more about me, but also learning more about yourselves, learning more about the lessons which I've learned that can help you for the future. But yeah, I'm looking so forward to the next video, guys. Have a lovely day, and I'll take care. See you soon.